Welcome back to Creeper World 4. We're in the colonies again for this mission, which is first-person Creeper World. We all knew it was only a matter of time. For some reason, you cannot place a command node on this map, forcing you to descend from orbit yourself and fight the Creeper on the ground. And we'll take a quick look at what kind of times people have come up with for this. Seems to be a level of fairly moderate length. And let's dive in and see what we're doing here. So, this is sort of a good example of the kind of thing that you can do with Creeper World 4 in the scripting language. You can turn into something totally different. This is literally a first-person shooter map in the Creeper World 4 engine. And the notes here are important. We do want to turn high FPS off, and Shift F we have to use for the free cam. Otherwise, we are not going to be able to move around. So, we do that, and as soon as we unpause, ta-da! Now we move around here, and then we've got this reticle. This is our weapon, our cannon at the moment, and these two are doors. We've got to open them by grabbing the info caches. Thank you to the person who corrected my butchering of the pronunciation of that. And so we just go over here and grab it, and we've got to grab the 8 info caches, and we can reclaim, but we're going to skip that one. So this is our only path out. And over here is just some creeper. And I think this is basically meant as an area for you to test out your cannon, because there isn't anything back there that we're going to need. So we'll just keep moving on. Okay, now we have a mortar. So we can toggle to this. And there we go. Now we can head in here, but it's not particularly wise. This is all flip breeder, which gives you an idea of what we're going to need to do to get by it. But basically, no matter how much we pound it, it's just going to breed more. There's no way we're going to get to that. You have to completely uncover the info cache from Creeper in order to recover him. So we're going to turn around in here. And if you've played Creeper World 3, this might bring back some memories of the credits mission at the end of that game. Hope I went a little bit too far. Getting out of place there with a mortar. But we're just, you know, this is deeper Creeper. And with this kind of map, you really need to try to balance out how much creeper is on it, because if there's too much, it gets really tedious. And this part is a little bit tedious. There are some other parts that are. Like, I think the creep would have been better to be lowered in total amount a little, but it does pretty well. So, you know, I'm not really going to complain about it. And so, I think this room here is really just trying to teach you, okay, you're going to use the mortar on the deep creeper, and then when it gets lowered down, switch to your cannon. And these are the 2 weapons we're going to be using for the rest of the mission. To varying degrees. So now we're just trying to, you know, lower this down. Hit the deeper parts as much as we're able. And we are gradually succeeding. Now, all the creeper that gets generated after you start the mission on this map is all from breeder. And of course, obviously being a shooter type of map, you don't just build more weapons. You know, you're just targeting here, and I can't just add 10 more cannons or whatever to speed it up. So now I think we're low enough. We're going to switch to our cannon. We can shoot through these walls. We can pass through these walls. It's just that Creeper can't go through them. There we go. And now we're starting to clear a path. We're just going to move forward. And grab our next info cache. We have 2. We have 6 more to go. 5 more after this one. Looking pretty good. And now that we've got it cleared out, we just grab it, and now we can get out of here. We have no need to destroy the rest of that creeper. So if we come around here, oh, we're just starting to get in our pathway. You get out of the way. So what that unlocked is the other doorway from here. So now we can come over here, and that's going to give us another info cache. And what this one does is it opens the way for anti-creeper to flow into here. Now we're going to deal with this breeder room. Flip breeder room. And what I want to do as the AC flows in is I want to hit this down here. Because I want to create room for it to start grabbing some of this breeder. And there's a lot of the AC. But I want it to be able to come in here. There we go. And now as it comes, I then want to continue to help it advance. And it's going to be able to have some effectiveness on its own. We are just trying to help it along here. And pound our way, bit by bit, closer to this info cache. Almost there. We're going to grab it, but I'm going to just sort of stay in here for now. Because I want to clear all of this out. Build up this AC for my next task. Okay, should be able to finish it there. Alright, now we're coming in here. And yeah, there's a bit more resistance here. Let's have at it. Definitely going to stick with our mortar. Trying to hit some of these waves. And there's breeder on the far end that is building up all of these waves. So we need to just remove all of that eventually. It's almost like we're lofting softballs or shot-putting softballs of anti-creeper at the enemy. And this mortar appears to have unlimited range. If it's not unlimited, it's awful darn close to it. Basically, if you can see it here, you can hit it. And there we go. Another wall of breeder-created creeper heading our way. Lob a few shots out that way. And there comes some more. Let's knock that out. Okay. So now it's getting down pretty well. Switch to the cannon. You can see our AC has started to move out here. Let's just make sure it has some help in doing so. And, oh, okay. More of you, fine. Continue making our way towards this. And we don't need the AC for anything else after we leave this room. So I am just going to clear this, grab this info cache, be on my way. Get this out of the way. Because over here, you see that black? That's absorber terrain. So whatever happens in this room will stay in this room. Okay. Out we go. And we have 2 more rooms out here to deal with. Whoops. One over here. One over here. You get too close to the walls, you get that bit of a view. Now, there's a bunch of small breeder in here. This looks like it's the easiest room, but it's actually not. We're going to come over here. Because there's little bits of breeder in that other room, but they're all over the place. And so we don't really have the firepower to deal with it. How is coming in here going to help? Well, we'll see that when we get to that info cache. And look at the range. But we're going to again start with the mortar, knocking down the deep parts, and this isn't that much different than what we've saw in that last room with breeder at the far end. There's more of it and it's more powerful, but it's the same basic idea. We need to chop down the deep parts of creeper so that we can proceed forward then. And there's quite a bit of thumping required in this one. See that one like hit the wall back there because I targeted too far away. So you can see the gradual escalation, each room taking a little bit longer than the next. But at the same time, we are wearing this down. I feel it's still a little bit big overall, so I want to keep thumping for a bit longer. But we are definitely eliminating more of it than is being bred, which is the key thing. As long as we can do that, then there will only be so long that it can survive. Okay, yeah, see that wall? Oh yeah. Let's give that wall a piece of our mind. It actually flows up onto the edges there on the rises. So clearly that's the most powerful, even if it has a long time in between cycles, the most powerful breeder that we have seen on this map. I just want to make sure there isn't a bunch of it that collects back there so it can flow forward into what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm going to switch and start knocking out some of this. And I just want to gradually now be able to move forward into this entryway. Then if it starts getting too deep, I'll switch to the mortar again. Just gradually chewing these areas up. Pushing it back. Then I just want to sort of stay on this side for the most part and just create, you know, sort of hug this wall and move out. Every once in a while we'll just come back this way to make sure we don't have any severe problems. Surprised it hasn't launched another wall at me yet. I think I might be able to get to this before it does. Yeah, let's just get there. It's coming, but I don't care. Yep. Get damaged a little bit when I'm in the creeper, and if we do too much of that, you'll actually die, and if you die, you have to restart the level. It takes quite a while for you to die, but you'll just end up with the camera like floating in air and you won't be able to do anything. So, here we go. And you see the little bits of breeder along the edges of the wall, and there's also some below on the surface. There's only so far we're going to get with the mortar here. You also probably noticed the info cache there said upgraded cannon. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. But right now, I want to just pound this some. Because if you look at the depth, you know, it's between 2 to 3. And that's just a little bit much for us to handle with a cannon. This is a big room, as was the last one. So, once again, guarded by this absorber terrain here. But it does feel like we're getting it down a fair amount. Okay. So instead of taking on, you know, the whole room, I am again going to switch off to the side. And now look, we've got like a machine gun cannon thing here. So let's just plow through this. I'm just going to hug this wall and make my way up the side here. make all this go away. Yep, that's getting a little close, so push it further out. And onward we go. Getting a little deep here. You can see there's some breeder nearby. That's part of why. Switch back to the cannon. And here's some breeder along the wall. Now we're starting to actually get into the breeder. So that means we're able to some extent, limit the replication. Yep, breeding, breeding, breeding. Shut up, stop breeding. Oh, now we're starting to get... Oh, yeah. It's right up here by me. Let's definitely keep it away, though, from these breeder spots as much as I can. And I think I'm done with that mortar for now. I'm going to stick with the cannon. Machine gun cannon, and we're almost to our target. Whoops. Got a little close to me there. Well, let's just focus in on this now. I believe that we're close enough to just power through. And there it is. Yay, and we upgraded our mortar. Let's just run before we die. And then it reclaims at 9%. We can see the mortar, like if we're going to use that. Look how fast that thing fires. Isn't that nice? We could go in here and give this wall a nice piece of our mind with that. But we don't need to. We have a rift jump. How do you do a rift jump with no rift lab? I don't know. Beats the snot out of me. But we're getting out of here. So that was First Person Creeper World. As always, let me know what you think. They may make more of these levels, so would you like to see more of this? Or do you think this is just kind of a waste of time? What do you think about this kind of mission? Moving on, next time I think we're probably going to head into one of the random missions since we haven't done any of those yet. But I'm always looking for more map suggestions. Got several that I haven't gotten to yet. I will gradually work my way through those. See you then.